It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake Sloan in just mere moments. In the meantime, I want to give you some information because over the next 30 minutes, you're going to hear some information and you're going to want to talk to Blake personally. That's fine. Give him a call at his office. Sloan Realty Group at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. Talk with somebody from his team or talk to Blake about anything that's going on, any questions you have. You can also go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. We'll repeat that contact information a lot over the next 30 minutes. So if you didn't get it this time, get a pen and get ready. You'll get it next time. Let's go ahead and start the show. Here's Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Brand new show. Tons of great stuff. Very interesting show. We're the 34th straight edition since Corona craziness. And we'll just break down the real estate market and kind of what's going on. And obviously had some election craziness here. And we'll just talk about what's happening here in the marketplace. Again, a brand new show. I was out of town last weekend at a mini mastermind with other people across the country who are very, very high level in real estate. And so we'll talk about some of that stuff we learned and just kind of what's happening across the country. But exciting brand new show. We're going to dig into, I had this on the list last week, but we did not get a chance to do it. The actual date on how many people moved during the pandemic. Very interesting. We've seen a huge increase in influx here in our marketplace here in the Grand Strand. And so I thought it was important to talk about. It was very interesting in that aspect. Also, all right, a national article that is out that showed homes sold 2 weeks faster due to an unusual surge in demand, which is September through October. And that's something interesting. And a new article out just recently here, Forbes magazine article, actually, that put Myrtle Beach on the top of the list where people were moving and demand rising for properties in vacation home markets. And specifically, that's also people to live in as well. It's very interesting. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Forbes and really, really interesting to look at. And then finally, something I had on the list for a while. That's the easiest way to get more money for your home. One trick, how to add $8,000 to $14,000. But really just kind of break down what's going on. I don't have the real-time data yet from this last month. I was telling Dave a minute ago, had it all lined up, everything good to go. Our data source we use was down for the past 2 days. But I have some more different insight. That's like the monthly data we'll look at. So we don't really cover it too much, but it just kind of gives some comparisons. So bottom line is, buckle up. We got a lot of great stuff we'll talk about. And more importantly, just try to serve you all some great knowledge to make better decisions and really know about what's going on here in Myrtle Beach.
Right, well, that's just what the show's about each and every week. But if you're just tuning in for the very first time, you don't know what the show is about. You're saying, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Well, who is this guy? Blake Sloan. He's been called the real estate whiz kid, been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, many other national publications. You maybe heard him on the radio here. Got all the great personal endorsements from Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, also from Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox, and others. Maybe you've seen him on TV with NBC, Fox, and Friends. Yeah, put those all together. It is unprecedented. Now, every week we also learn a little bit more about how the team works with their trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. A lot of things that go in there, a lot of moving parts that are involved with that. Can't tell you all the details because it is kind of his own secret. However, if you do deal with him, he'll be able to give you all those details. But more importantly, he'll be more interested in sharing the most important detail of that with you right now.
Yes, and this is the reason why we do this show, and this is my favorite thing about our business. Really, is doing the show. We've been doing it so long, but really, it just comes down to what makes or breaks your home sale. There's so many horror stories you see and hear, people costing themselves tens of thousands of dollars, having terrible experiences, emotional roller coasters, and a lot of times people don't know why that is, right? And so it's important for me to share that because the reality is the number one single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. And that thing is the agent you choose, period. Nothing else, not your grass, not your wall color. It's the agent you choose. And the reality is people make this huge mistake of thinking they're all real estate agents are the same, and it could not be further from the truth, right? Just like any doctor, any lawyer, if you're charged with a crime you did not commit, the last thing you want is some part-time lawyer who your friend referred you to that tried 2 cases last year, right? You want the absolute best, most aggressive, detail-oriented attorney that's going to help you. It's the same thing you want for one of your largest assets. It matters to you in the reality of why that is. In selling a property, it's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, guess what that does? Puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball, that costs you your hard-earned equity, or the property does not sell. And so the reality is what most agents do is the 3 Ps. 1, they promise the world to get listing. 2, they put it into the MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. And meanwhile, they're spending all their time down the street trying to get your neighbor's listing because they're just trying to survive in the business. And so the reality is that's just how the market works across the country, across really the globe. And so what I did and what we did is we figured out a better way. We said, look, what happens? We identified there's 118 different variables from A to Z. Most agents have no clue what they are. What we did is we create a system that's proven and repeatable that creates maximum leverage at every single point, and we stack those dominoes up to give you a huge competitive advantage. And we manage those variables with technology that we built out, and also through a team of people who handle each aspect. And we have a team of specialists versus having some generalists who try and do everything, right? That old saying, you master everything, master of none, whatever that saying is exactly. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but jack of all trades, master of none, is that what it is, right? Yeah, that part of it. The reality is that's what most agents try to do. And that would work really well in 1984 or 1985. But right now, with so many different options and technologies and sites and different ways it can be handled, it has to be managed proactively. And that can be anything from the quality of photos on your house, the order of the photos on your house. Does the agent answer the phone when somebody calls out for a sales sign? How long does it take them to respond to a web lead online? Does the copy, aka the description, have emotional, simple words? Are they eliminating words in their copy that keeps you from coming to look at your house? There's all these aspects that matter, right? And that's just to get it on the market. And so what we did, like I mentioned, we create a system proven repeatable that creates maximum leverage at every single point, or we create a small gap at each domino. So it's just like running a marathon. Somebody shoots a shotgun start, everyone takes off, looks like a big crowd, everything looks the same. But after a while, what you notice is everyone spreads out. Small increments over time create massive gaps. And that's the same exact thing we do our system. The system is called the Guaranteed Sold System, the only proven system that sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very well. I designed it, like Dave mentioned, it's trademarked. We license to other agents, other parts of the country. It's exclusive to us. You won't get that anywhere else. There's a few that try to, have tried to imitate that, but nothing close to what we have from basically an execution standpoint, and also a capital standpoint to do so. On the flip side, there's 100 plus variables on the buy side. They're usually the opposite, but they're a little bit different. And so we did the same exact process here. We outlined, wrote down, identified every single variable, put them in order, right, to make sure we can manage those variables proactively with people and technology. It's called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. Get you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation when you're purchasing a price, also negotiation through home inspection, and all the way through closing to make sure that you have every possible advantage. And like I mentioned, both those do one single thing. They give you a huge competitive advantage of buying or selling. We talk about that on every show because we have people that listen to the show. They don't reach out and call us first. They call someone else and have a huge horror story. It costs them money, or they waste a lot of time and emotion going down the wrong track, and we have to come in and fix it. It's much easier if you just call me first when I have to fix it. And so if you want to know more about that, right, reach out and call us, 843-808-SOLD. Very, very important right now with what's going on in the market, the pace of the market, the amount of inventory we have. It's so important right now to have someone who has a really tough, really, I guess you say, in-depth knowledge of what's happening in real time, so you can make the right decisions in the right places to get you the most amount of money for your home.
All right, that sounds good. We are just getting started here on the show, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show, along with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a minute, we'll look at the market. We'll also look at some of the numbers that you really, really want to know to see what the mortgage rates are looking like this week. Really important stuff coming up. If you've never been here before, you have picked the right week to be here to check out the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Give Blake a call at his office, Sloan Realty Group, 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD.
Hey, if you are in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets. And one of the lessons I have learned is this: hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps
searching for the marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agreed to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
It's the Experts Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a minute, we'll see what the interest rates are looking like. Right now, though, normally break down everything that's going on as far as the market is concerned. You said that your market data was a little bit, the computer was kind of acting up, but I know that you know what's happening.
Yes. So again, we talked about, if anybody's listened every single week previously, we've covered everything's kind of in arrears, right? So like right now we just got into November, so we really have the October numbers. September's very similar. I looked at the October numbers when they first came out in the second of the month. Inventory was a new record low, 2.4 months inventory right now, which is like, that's our biggest problem for us. We're in an inventory crisis. And to kind of give you, I guess a quick overview of anyone that, kind of missed last week's show, or the September numbers were great. If you look at all properties combining condos and single families, closed sales were up 25.4%, huge jump, right? Single family closed sales up 22%. If you look at condos, only up 31.3%, and huge numbers there. The one thing that was interesting, if you look at, so for September, months of supply, which is AK the amount of properties available, was at 3.1 months, down 40.4% from the same month last year. So again, went from 5.2 to 3.1. Remember, anybody that's been listening for a while, anything below 6 months, what they call a seller's market. It's a hypothetical equation. Whereas if there wasn't a new property listed, how long would it take at the current sales rate to run through everything? It's just an equation you can use to tell kind of what's going on across the country. We've been talking for months and months and months what would happen. We saw it across the country, but it's really starting to get in here. And so right now, October's number is 2.4 months of inventory, the lowest I've ever seen it. It was very close in about 2005, but back then we didn't have the right technology to track that in real time. I was in the business and it was pretty chaotic. This one's a lot different though. We're seeing a lot more people who are relocating, a lot more second homes, where back in 2005, 2006, there was a lot more speculation. And so that's just something that's interesting to look at. And that was home numbers. Condos inventory down 16% last month, down from 5.0 months to 4.2 months. And overall, you're seeing kind of the same thing across the board. The one thing that's interesting to look at is pending sales. So this is a key number. This is an overall month versus month. So in basically all of September, the single family market, and this is one of the most important numbers why I want to share this report. This is not typically one that we do weekly, just because it's a little more in depth, but pending sales in September, we're up 89.1% from the same month last year, which is crazy. So for example, if you look at in that month of 2019, there is 677 pending deals. If you look at that, basically September of this year, there was 1,280 deals. And so you're going to see those close, guess what, this month and next month, as you're seeing about a 30, 45 day, closing most part. If you got financing, sometimes they're taking 60 days. We are seeing a challenge right now where a lot of properties are delayed because you've seen so many refinances, a huge influx, obviously, in sales, have really kind of slowed down the mortgage process. A lot of people are doing refinances, appraisers, home inspections. And so that's something we're seeing right now, about a 45-day close most of the time. So the reality is we'll have brand new market numbers in for you next month. Those are kind of the key highlights just to look at. But the shocking number I saw really was just the increase in pending sales. For example, if you look at August of this year, there's only a 27% increase in pending deals. So it went from 1151, it was 1151 this year in August, and went to September 1280, an 89.1% increase from the same month last year. And so bottom line is people are still coming in and selling like crazy. I'll have all the data for you next week as well. The one key thing that's driving it, and this is obviously something that's some good news since the election a little bit here, is interest rates. Interest rates back down again. We've seen a lot of people jumping on that. So like last week's show, interest rates 3.03% for a 30-year fix. Right now, a 30-year fixed rate is 2.89%. We have a lot of clients been jumping on that. Even some people that we talked to doing refinances, we're waiting for that to jump back down. It's very close to the 1-year low, and really that was the all-time low at 2.81%. A 15-year fix right now, 2.39%, which is awesome. Very close to the all-time low of 2.36. A 30-year FHA loan, 2.40%. Amazing opportunity for anybody as first-time home buyer or just wants to buy a house. Little as 3% down You get a 2.4% increase interest rate. Amazing opportunity where you can own a single family home for much less than you can rent a small condo for, or even an apartment. A jumbo loan, right? Obviously, that's 2.42%. Those are larger loans, anywhere $417,000, and a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage right now, 2.72%. What's that mean? Great opportunity, right? Great opportunity as a seller, great opportunity as a buyer, because obviously a lot of uncertainty going forward, and a lot of people are still moving here. We'll talk about that in a minute with the Forbes article, which I think is a huge, huge thing, because right now what we're seeing is people are still relocating. I guess we got time since I didn't do the. I wanted to kind of cover it. Obviously, I mentioned I'm a big fan of Forbes. I actually had the opportunity to meet Steve Forbes at the 30 under 30 party we had a while back. He was so gracious, so cool. I think we even took a picture together. But he was amazing. But they have great stuff. I trust a lot from real estate. So the title of the article, and it's actually got a picture of Myrtle Beach as the head picture, which is really cool. And it's actually a former listing of mine that we had on the oceanfront. It's right in the Golden Mile. But the title is "Demand is Rising for Properties in Vacation Home Markets," which is obviously where we're at. And it says the ability to work remotely has many home buyers toying with the idea of moving to vacation home markets, which are seeing an increase in people shifting here. Though we've been talking about that for the past 4 or 5 months, right? What we've seen, but it talks about page views of for sale listings are up 50% year over year in the metro areas typically considered vacation destinations. They define that as 65,000 plus people and basically 5 times more vacation homes than the nation as a whole. And so that's just something that's important. It talks about the vacation metros seeing the biggest uptick include the Jersey Shore area, number 2, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Key West, Florida, Lake Tahoe, Nevada, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and Park City, Utah. That's a pretty cool list for us to be on. And as anybody knows that's been listening for a while, we're on a ton of these reports lately. We're getting well-known. People are coming down here, a better cost of living, much more affordable, which is awesome. It just talks about newly pending home sales are climbing the vacation markets, with 90% of the markets experiencing growth up half at least over 30% from last year. We're obviously part of that, which is really cool. And just talks about as millions of office workers transition to working from home during the pandemic, many recognize where they like to live. And obviously then that commute would no longer matter. And so we've seen that here. We've seen people retire early. We mentioned on the show, we have people sleeping in cars during lockdown. People want to get out and get down here. And so we're seeing that happen overall. And so if you're a home seller, it's a great opportunity, right? Again, a lot of uncertainty, what happens next year, the interest rates, marketplace, all that stuff. Right now, I know one thing, it's a perfect storm in regards to high demand from people relocating out of state coming here, interest rates at an all-time low. And so if you've been thinking about selling, right, take advantage of that right now. There's some certainty in the marketplace. Real estate's been kind of driving the economy. That was another article I was going to have, but I don't think we'll have time for that. The bottom line is, if you want to know more, reach out and call me. If you're thinking about the uncertainty in the future, reach out, call me. We can guide you through that. 843-808-SOLD. We'll guys take a quick break. I got some awesome stuff coming up, some great success stories, and I also got those 2 articles I've been trying to get to for a long time.
Well, we got some time, so we'll get into it coming up in just a minute. Like you said, success stories. We probably also got some people who didn't do it right.
Yeah.
And plus, we have a hot buyers alerts all coming your way in just a second. Get in touch with Blake at his office, Sloan Realty Group. Give him a call at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LeBox, lead singer of Rascal
I looked on time. We pretty like 15 in or something.
Moving on, won the award for ACM Song of the Year. It struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with life's big changes. For many,
How about 8.5 minutes?
Oh, cool. All right. So we did pretty good time.
Yeah,
All right.
Smart real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com, or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Almost so much information that you want to hear. If you want to give Blake a call, please feel free to do so. 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Blake and his team working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers. They're looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, anywhere from the range of 150,000 to 3.5 million. If you're in that range, just thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately at that number I already gave you, 843-808-SOLD. How many people are looking for your home right now? Well, on Blake's website, he's got active home buyers that are on the site, not just once a month or once a week, but probably several times a day. More than 59,000. Actual number was 59,136. That's a lot of people looking for homes.
Oh, yes. And again, that's the problem that we have, right, is that we have so many buyers from across the country, not the same inventory. Inventory is at almost an all-time low. Lowest it's been in over a decade. And we need property to sell. And like Dave mentioned, these are real people, username, password, account. We spend a tremendous amount of money. If you ask, Blake, what makes you different than anyone else if you're selling my home? Why should I call you if I'm thinking about selling my home? The reality is because I outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. So I'm already getting buyers across the country before you ever pick up that phone to call me. And so I'm not like the average agent who just gets it, puts a sign in the yard and prays that someone drives by and sees it. We have technology that we've developed that reverse engineer the most likely buyer for your property based on previous search patterns out of that 59,136 people. And so, again, what does that do? It creates more demand for your property. Just like taking a classic Corvette, you put that classic Corvette at Walmart in a parking lot, you might be able to sell it. Take the same classic Corvette, put it in every Corvette enthusiast website, every Corvette enthusiast magazine, you increase demand, therefore selling it for more money. It's the same exact thing we do from an exposure standpoint with your property. It's like right now, Amy Holbrook from Smyrna, Georgia is on the site, brand new on the site, only been here 6 visits, already looked at 42 properties as well, and came from online. We got John Robinson from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We got Bob Texeria from Springfield, Missouri. I got to find out where Mabane is. Mabane, North Carolina. I got Lee Bowers from Mabane, North Carolina. I'm not sure what that is, but big shout here. Lee Bowers, for example, got 3 favorites right now, 263 visits to the property, to the website, looking at lots of properties. And so the bottom line is we need inventory. If you've been thinking about selling, reach out and call me. I obviously mentioned there's a lot of uncertainty with the elections and what happens in the economy afterwards. Definitely take advantage of all-time high prices, all-time low inventory. And I mentioned we just had obviously 2.4 months when October's numbers came out, which truly for me is almost scary because it's hard for us to find the right stuff for our buyers. And so we're sometimes selling stuff within hours, which is really cool. And actually reminded me, I was going to talk about this earlier. Got a post on my Facebook, the Sloan Realty Group Facebook yesterday from Barbara Corcoran, which is pretty cool. If you saw it today, I shared a picture of it. But it says, Blake, I see you're moving listings fast. Congratulations. What are the inventory levels in Myrtle Beach now? Which obviously I replied to her and let her know 2.4 months and that we're selling a lot of properties within hours. And so if you want to check it out, it's pretty cool. You can go to our Sloan Realty Group Facebook page, the official Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank, obviously, who's a mentor of mine. Very, very cool to get that from her. And so the reality is, yes, we have our team closing over 16 properties this past week that we have, that we've already gotten checks on, a couple more that we're still waiting from the mail. And so if you know someone that's thinking about selling, tackle them. Make sure they put our cell phone number in their cell phone. It's 843-808-SOLD. And just have them reach out because right now they can probably get a lot more money than they think they can. There's a lot more opportunity because people are still moving from out of state into Myrtle Beach. You heard the Forbes article about it. Myrtle Beach doesn't necessarily make the Forbes articles too often. When they do, there's a reason for that, and that's because there's a huge shift in how people are working right now. They're leaving the big metropolitan areas, and so reach out to me to know more for sure, which is really cool. And part of that, I guess we'll run out of time here soon, some success stories. Very, very proud of our team. Our team's been pushing so hard lately. Big shout out to Chuck and Courtney. They had their house on the market for over a year. The different realtor didn't receive one single offer. They were beyond frustrated real estate agents. They need to sell their house because they were building a new home. They need to sell their current home before they could finish building their new home. So thankfully referred to us by an amazing radio listener. We're very, very thankful for that. We met with Chuck and Courtney, immediately identified what their problem was, which is marketing. We designed a custom marketing plan, launched global marketing blitz, professional photos. We just a couple weeks, drove massive traffic, had them offer for the price they were hoping for, got the property sold. Now they can move on. We'll put maximum equity in their pocket and actually build that house, which is really cool. Another big shout out to Al and Cynthia. Unfortunately, going through a difficult situation, getting divorced, right? They need to sell their home they own together. And here's the thing. They met with several agents and so-called cash investors before calling us. The cash investors, and you hear some of those even on these stations, other ones, made very, very, very low ball offers that they couldn't even pay their mortgage off. Thank God that someone referred them to us. We came in, basically went through the whole thing, Long story short, identify what it was, identify their strategy, let them know we can get them more than what they owed on it because they couldn't sell to those investors, thankfully, because they had a mortgage on it. And so those investors are offering 50, 60 cents on the dollar. We came in, met with them, showed them how we can get it sold, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, had an offer in 2 days, had under contract to close quickly, and they are able to put a good amount of money in their pocket after closing and paying the mortgage off. And so perfect example, they could have sold to some investor and cost themselves $10, $20, $30,000 by not picking up the phone and calling us. Your friends out there that you're thinking of, they may need something like that. And that's one thing we're very, very good at. I share that because divorce can be very, very difficult. I just closed in a very high-end home, Myrtle's Inlet. They were the previous agent, very, very difficult going through divorce. We came in and nailed it. We helped both parties feel communicated with, get the property sold, got top dollar for it. Both were moved on, really happy with maximum dollar in their pocket. So that's one thing. How much time we got? All right, really quick. Once from our bar sides went really cool. Matt had Ken and Linda come from Massachusetts, been searching for something to call home in North Myrtle Beach. Went through the whole process, came in town, spent 2 days searching, found the one under contract, and they got $19,000 off the asking price. Our buyer team is strong, really, really good in that regard. Another one here, and this is what you're seeing a lot of. Scott had another one. Manjola and Facile came from the cold Massachusetts, found the home in Carolina Forest, and got that under contract from them as well. And Barrett actually just sold a brand new couple, a beach condo. They saved over $10,000 in loving the oceanfront condo. And so the cool part about it, our team is super aggressive. We're able to do that for as well. So if you want to know more about that and want to be a part of that, the most important thing anyone can do here is refer your friends to us. It means a lot, it means the most, but don't let them be that horror story they go through as well. How much we got? So I want to get to this ads for a while. What's the one thing that you can add massive quick equity to your property, which is interesting to kind of look at? And the one thing it talks about, I hope I just close it, but the one thing here was just talking about overall a garage door. Brand new garage door, crazy thing it talks about. And it talks about selling your home this season. This is from bobvila.com, but it talks about recent report came through from remodeling that can boost your sales price by as much as 4%, anywhere between $8,000 and $14,000, depending on the initial listing price. And so one thing we're able to do with our clients, show them how to paint it or get a new one, because you always want to get dollar for dollar. We always go through a checklist with our clients of even basic stuff. We got a free pressure washer you can use, all these ways that are simple and easy to get you maximum dollar, and you don't have to do a full fix up. If you want to sell your property as is, no problem. We can get that done for you. Want to do small fix up? We'll guide you through that process. Just don't make the mistake calling somebody else. Call us at 843-808-SOLD for sure.
Yeah, because you definitely want to be a success story and not one of the horror
Yes.
stories. We didn't get to too many horror stories today, and that's good because they're usually pretty horrible. But yeah, be a success story.
Have a couple.
Land along with Blake Sloan. Get in touch with Blake. Call into his office. Remember, go to the right place. Sloan Realty Group. Sloan Realty Group. Don't be fooled by others. Sloan Realty Group. Call 843-808-SOLD. 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com. blakesloan.com. Blake, we'll do it again next
Yes,
week.
sir.
Sounds good. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay